Good evening. How you doing? Norm Risley here, host of the Halcyon Show. How you doing? Thank you very much for joining me on this, where are we? We're Thursday, aren't we? Been a weird week. Bank holiday always tends to throw me out of whack, like I'm sure it throws all of you guys out of whack. Yeah, weird week. Somewhat disconcerting in some ways and very disappointing in others. Couple of personal, professional, and now show-based disappointments. So I can only apologize for the demeanor. I'm not in the best of moods today, but then again, because I've got some stuff on tomorrow, and I do really want to preview this card, and because there's a couple of things on my mind I feel like is worth just hopping on and talking about. I wanted to make a point of sitting and having a little chat before the weekend, Checkpoint 5 from Don't Flop. So we're going to preview that. There's been a lot of Apex news as well, because the card's now locked in, so I will probably mention that a little bit. But I think the nub of my conversation with you this evening is going to be centering around the discourse that's been occurring on Twitter. Hylas, thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, it's going to be centered around that because it's just been a weird week, man. Ups and downs, trials and tribulations, a lot of backwards and forwards. Yeah, just a weird one, do you know what I mean? So we'll get to all of that. First and foremost, though, as you may have noticed in the conversation tab, I don't actually know. So I've been fiddling around with the preview version of streaming. So apparently you can test the stream before you go live now. That's why I fixed a couple of technical difficulties that I encountered before I went live. So I don't know if these notes that I've put in there are visible, but I am quite curious because one thing that struck me this last week, Battle Rap fans are real quiet these days. The followings of some of the battlers are still pretty good and still pretty healthy. The followings of the channels are still pretty good and still pretty healthy. The communities, based on the numbers and stuff, are still pretty healthy. And yet, no one seems that keen on sharing an opinion. So let's so since Hylas is here, let's have a look. So I'm gonna pick up my mum and dad. Yeah, so this was continuation last week. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. It sounds like you're still going through it. Like, it's not a contest, by the way. It's not me saying that I've had a worse week than anyone else. And a lot of my stuff on my end is stuff I'm managing. It's not stuff that's sort of collapsed and capitulated. It's just stuff that dropouts are one thing. I had stuff planned for this week for you and for the channel, and it's not happened. And that's always disappointing because I put a lot of time into these fucking interviews, guys. And I put a lot of time into the prep to try and entice people on. And when it falls through or it doesn't happen, it's very frustrating. And I'm trying more and more now not to let it get the better of me and just kind of go, okay, right, no worries, let's go. But that's not been sort of the worst part of it. It sucks, but it is what it is. I got some stuff going on just in real life, like who doesn't, man? Like I say, at the moment we're kind of all going through it at the moment. That's why the general election happening soon is going to be interesting. But I do not want to get into that on this stream, so you'll forgive me. Politics and me, I divorced a long time ago because I feel like, you can't really have positive political discussions these days. They always boil down into arguments. As evidenced by the discourse this week, and something is reasonably tame as battle rap, so we'll come to that. So but yeah, long story short, yeah, it's been a long week, and I'm looking forward to the weekend despite the discourse. And by the way, I've just seen the second note. You do win. So again, that's what I'm saying. It's not a contest, and to be honest, I'm in a bad mood, but like in a good place, if that makes sense. Like I'm just kind of generally like bleh, it's just, so don't mind me. That's all I'll say. So I think that's enough mishmash, and we've just hit 8 o'clock. That's when I said everyone I was going to go live, and yeah, long story short, I don't like going. Like, I hate waiting. Like if I say it's 8 o'clock, I want to be ready at 7:30, and then I want to go live at 7:30. Do you know what I mean? So, anyways, I think we better get to the nub of why I'm here, at least, which is I wanted to talk about Checkpoint 5 because that is now it's literally right on the horizon. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk about is obviously the main event, Lunar C versus Madness. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I've seen a lot of people going backwards and forwards about they're not happy with the matchup. They looked at it and they kind of went, that's not the one I'd have picked. I'm not crazy about it, and all the rest of this sort of stuff. Here's how I look at it. I don't think I cared who Lunar C's opponent was going to be. I think when I saw that he was coming back, I think I only cared about that. I think that, again, a lot of the guys from the era of Don't Flop from 2014, 15, 16, maybe even further back than that, those guys, I don't think they really have many more battles in them. And if they do, it's because they'll never stop. They'll go forever. But there are a few of them that it's becoming a less and less frequent thing. And there's a few guys from that era that I do want to see perform live now. I think I mentioned this in my interview with Cammy. So Soul, I want to see live. I haven't seen Tony perform live yet. O'Shea would be a gas to see live. Marlo, I want to see live. P Soldier, now I've said that I want to see him live, so I better go see him live. Otherwise, he will string me and he will kick my ass. But yeah. And by the way, Hylas makes a good point. If you've seen my interview with Luna, you should go and watch Cammy's interview with Luna, because they go into the weeds about battle rap. For reference though, I struggled to watch that interview, not because of anything either one of them did. It's just that Cammy's setup at the moment, it needs some work. The reason I struggled, and this is why I'm trying to up my quality of programming, is because I'm trying to eliminate things that annoy people. And the thing that annoyed me in that interview is that Cammy doesn't mute his mic, and because his mic has feedback and echo and it's distorted to a certain degree, not only was it putting off Luna because he couldn't then understand what Cammy was saying, even if it was just a yeah or whatever, it effectively muted Luna. So it meant that he couldn't really have that back and forth type of conversation that I think Cammy wanted. So that's the only thing I would say about that, is that I hope that like you'll persevere with it, because the thing with it is that that's a minor criticism. The rest of the interview was actually very good. I think they touched on a lot of subjects. I think he got a lot out of Luna in terms of what his plans are. And I think this as well, like one of the talking points coming into this that I've seen a lot of is a lot of people complaining about the lack of promotion for the card. And I got to be honest with you, man, with the exception of today and maybe yesterday, I couldn't agree with him. I've worked harder in the last 2 weeks promoting this card than Don't Flop has. Luna, on the other hand, Luna's been sharing my interview with him everywhere he can. He's been sharing Cammy's interview wherever he can. He's been on both shows, giving up, I think, cumulatively 4 hours of his time. You know, Gas Buff's been running himself ragged trying to get all the promotional material. Some of the battlers have obviously sent through some stuff. But man, it is quite amazing to see that Don't Flop left it to 3 days before the event to really put the gears together. And what doesn't help is that when you look across the aisle at Premier Battles, and again, we're trying not to treat this like a competition, but as consumers, invariably, we can't help ourselves. You've got promo packages for every battle. You've got tweets, and you've got previews to the tweets, and teasers for the promos, and the trailer, the whole flyer doesn't get released until all of the battles are locked in and it's done. And this is, where are we now, 30th of May? I don't think this happens until back end of August. So they've got 2 months, 2.5 months to really get people excited about it. Do you know what I mean? And that's just crazy to me, because, and I had a conversation with P Soldier about this week in terms of the promotion thing. And the thing I had to stress to him, because P Soldier's got an inbuilt audience. He's got people that will follow him come rain or shine. I'm in the probably more, I'll share my stuff until people are sick of me, because I've got no other means of discourse. You know what I mean? I have to let people know what I'm doing. And I think Don't Flop think at the moment they're more in that former camp than they are in my camp. And I just don't agree with that. I don't know if many people knew that Luna was coming back after the initial promo tweet, and that was months ago at this point. Do you know what I mean? And so the idea is, but we tweeted about it months ago. Right, but then there's no follow-up. There's no riding the wave. There's no building momentum. Do you know what I mean? It felt like Luna's coming back, buy your ticket. Okay, that's fine for people that know who Lunar C is. But as everyone's pointed out, despite how big Lunar C was, Lunar C hasn't battled for 9 years. there are fans who have only seen him on the internet, who've never seen him live, who weren't around during his pinnacle. And you kind of, it's not a re-education, but you need to give people a reason to care beyond the fact that, well, look at the numbers he did on this YouTube video. Like, that's, and I guess this is why I was making the point earlier about the followings of some of these channels and people individually, right? Numbers are great. Numbers look very impressive, okay? And in fact, I'll use my interview and Cammy's interview as a good example of why numbers are bollocks, and you should fucking not pay attention to them in terms of determining the quality or what your purchasing habits should be. My interview with Lunar currently has, I think, 800 to 850 views, okay? Cammy says about 200 to 250, right? So you would think, oh, well, Lawns must be really, really good, and Cammy's is really, really not that great. Nah, you see, Cammy's sub count is only about 170, mine's 611. So the idea then is, I've managed to increase my retention by about 25%. He's more than doubled his. So by that definition, his video has done twice as well as mine by that metric, but in both instances, you could look at that metric and go, well, that doesn't really track, does it? Exactly. You'd have to watch the interviews to determine whether or not mine's better or his is better or both of them are good or both of them are bad. And it's the same with the numbers in battle rap at the moment. I think we need to get it, these battles from 2015, 16, 17, we need to get away from the numbers and looking at it through that prism. We really do. That was then, this is now. We need to be more realistic about where I keep saying we. I fell into the trap this week with Shannon, who, God bless her, I didn't realize was going to be more questions aimed at me. Because I tell you what I did. I tweeted her that I said something to the effect of, can we not all just go back to hating me? Can we not just do that? Because the discourse this week was fucking painful. I'm not going to talk about the specific instances, but it was hard, and it was just all I could read about on a week where I was expecting more about Checkpoint. Like, let's tweet about how we're excited about it. What matchups are you looking forward to seeing? Let's hear from some of the battlers. Let's see some promo material. Whatever, right? Let's see some interesting backwards and forwards. Like you've seen with Biz and with Gemini today. You know, the backwards and forwards, I like to think is friendly jousting. It's not serious. It's just a bit of friendly dick swinging, if you'll excuse the phrase. Whereas the discourse this week was hard. And it was not entertaining. And I don't think it's shifted a single fucking ticket. You know? And I just think, guys, I don't know if you understand, again, the we thing. Like, I threw my name in there to say, can we not go back? Because I just feel like if we're going to hate on someone, hate on me. Because I'm inconsequential. Again, I'm my big paddy in February, right? I scored the biggest interview in my channel's history. Luke Thomas, 7,000 views. And I haven't done shorts for it. I dread to think what views I'm missing by not doing shorts for that interview. So I'm fine. I missed battle rap though, so that's why I came back. And so it's why it's kind of frustrating to someone who it doesn't feel like part of battle rap scene to have done more fucking legwork in the last 2 weeks promoting a guy on a card you're supposed to be buying a ticket to. And I'll disclose something here for you right now as well, as evidence of my frustration with the current discourse. I reached out to on Monday. And the reason I did that is because I thought, you know what? I think my audience would love to see that. I have my frustrations with okay? And I'll try and remain cordial here because I'm about to go to his event at the weekend. There's a fair chance I'm going to see him, and I don't really want him to punch me in the face because, you know, I'm ugly enough as it is. But the fact is that I was like, listen, I think a surprise short notice interview with where we can focus on the card. Let's just use this to kind of hone in and focus on something positive. Okay? We'll talk about Checkpoint 5. That would be good. Give him an opportunity to really go in on why he's excited, who he's excited about, why is he, you know, put the right? And I DM'd him, never heard back. Saw the messages. And then there's some backwards and forwards on Twitter, I forget exactly when, and I mention it, and he goes, something about, yeah, well, I was booked on your show, and then you blocked me, and da-da-da-da-da. And I go, check your DMs. Check your DMs. And he ignored it. Now, again, not to belabor the point, but I'm trying to do what's right for business to a certain degree at this stage. I really am. I really am trying to go, listen, I disagree with some of the things you do, and I disagree with some of the things you say, and I don't think we're going out for a beer anytime soon, but I think my channel would really benefit from having someone like her on it for a frank interview. And I think, to be honest, I'm probably one of the few people that can give him an interview that would actually do him some good at this point in time. Because I think the perception of in many people's eyes is one thing. And there are people that won't say it, but those are almost always the people under his employ. And I'm sorry, when the only people that speak well of you are the people that are taking your money in the form of a paycheck, I don't think that's a glowing endorsement. The people that will speak ill of me are the people that typically I've spoken ill of because of that reason. Whereas the people that speak nicely about me are usually the people I've interacted with in those earnest moments. You know, I'll try and do the right thing where I can. Luna's a great example of that, man. When I actually finally got a fucking chance to talk to Lunar C, it was so clear that we just got off on the wrong foot and we were cool. And the discourse online is largely to that. And I think does suffer from that. I got to be honest, I think is trying to be more playful than he lets on, but it doesn't come across well. And again, in a week where I feel that they didn't do enough promoting, that initial tweet where he was talking about the media, to quote, the media doesn't want to cover us, or didn't want to cover us, and you've got other people telling them not to buy tickets, which is clearly a dig at Premier Battles and the guys that are aligned with them, right? It was just tacky. And again, I don't know, does that statement sell a ticket? Does it move someone? Does it compel someone to go, yeah, fuck them, I'm supporting Don't Flop? You'd have to tell me. If you watched that, or if you saw that and you thought, do you know what? I want to buy a ticket as a result of that, fair enough. But I can't imagine a world where it was enough to compel it. And also the fact that, again, the quote media. So Shannon had a space where she was kind of, the topic turned to this idea of what battle rap media is, like what we should be doing. And you know, my statement is we should all be doing something different, but ultimately being consistent. But I don't know if there really is. I mean, you'd have to tell me. Is there a battle rap media? Is there? Because in my mind, a media is someone that covers it from a somewhat unbiased, bipartisan perspective. You know, someone who isn't invested in the success or failure of a promotion or a battler or anything like that. You know, someone that just kind of like, here's what's happening. Here's why it's happening. Here's how it happened. And that's that. They're not the ones that go, hey, you should be really excited, because that's a promotional arm. I probably fall into that. That's why I don't think I'm a media member. My interviews are largely based on the idea that I'm really excited to talk to my guests because of what they've done. I'm a fan of theirs. It's kind of hard to remain bipartisan and unbiased when I'm telling you I like the person I'm talking to and I'm excited for them to show you what they do. And yeah, it's been a weird week in that sense. It really has. And a week where I really felt like it could have just been so different. Again, if I'm putting the blame on, okay, fine, I'm sure he won't like that. But that tweet was ill-advised. If all you're doing is trying to sell tickets to an event that's happening this weekend, you want people talking about your event and the battlers on it. You don't want people rolling their eyes at you and going, fuck, not again. Because that's what I did. Because people rightly or wrongly equate me as being a media member. I don't think I'm a media member, but people keep saying it, so I suppose I am, which means that that's a dig at me. And it's that thing of, well, hang on, I interviewed your headliner last week. Not my fault you didn't see it or didn't promote it, because I sure as hell did. He sure as hell did. I know you see his tweets, so what are we saying? I know Cammy did. Cammy did a 2-hour interview with your headliner, talked extensively about your card. Where was the retweet? You know what I mean? Like, if you want to lay the blame at people's doors, I think you need to be able to concede where your failings are first. And that's where I've always come down, man. This past week has been interesting from my perspective as well, because it's forced me to review a lot of that stuff that happened in February and the stuff since. I'll come sorry, not come clean. I'll share something with you now. I've reached out to Quill. I apologize to him for what it's worth, I think he's accepted it. And I think we're going to be okay. I don't want to say anything right now because, again, I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him face to face. I'd like to do that first. Social media is a weird thing. It's difficult to gauge exactly how good or bad someone is feeling or thinking or saying something through even direct messaging. Even voice exchanges, do you know what I mean? It's difficult. So much rather kind of look at someone dead in the eye, say, right, are we okay? If we're not, I want to hear about it. Good or bad, you know, tell me. And I'm looking, to be honest, I've got to be honest, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing Quill, because I believe he'll be there at the weekend. Gas Buff, it's going to be lovely to see, because I need to say thank you to him for coming on the show and doing an interview. Lefty, I'd love to meet, because he's worked quite closely with P Soldier on a number of things, so it'd be good to just say hello to him. Who else? Lunar will probably be stupid busy, so I don't know if I'll get a chance to say hello to him. Let me pull up the card. Let me stop swinging in. Right, who else we got? Pedro. Ah, yes. Well, I don't own many t-shirts, so I think I'll stay clear of Pedro. I don't know. I'm joking. Pedro, please don't rip my clothes. I'll pack. Tell you what, even if he goes mental, I'll pack seconds. I'll pack a second shirt just to be on the safe side, or just do it my zip. See if he can get through a denim button-up. See if he can make it. Let's have a look. Let me stop my pissing and moaning for a minute. We can come back to that. I got on a bit of a tangent there, so sorry about that. In fact, before we go on, let me just read the notes because I see a few from Hylas here. So let's have a look. I think it will surprise people and be good, but all of Lunar's ideas of next opponents on Cammy's podcast were great. I am inclined to agree with you. I think that's a pretty decent shout. Lunar's got a pretty clear idea of what he wants to do, and he's admitted that some of the stuff he was doing in the past is not something he'll repeat in the future. He really, I believe Lunar's matured. His performing style might be reminiscent of his 2015 self, but having spoken to the man privately and seen how he's handled some of these situations and tried to deal with some of these situations, I can ostensibly say he's definitely matured as an individual, and I've got the utmost respect for Lunar and how he's tried to handle this last week, man. I really, really do. Mac Myron is a Lunar dream match for me, and Mulips and even Bill Collector. Yeah, cool. And then is missing all the guys he alienated badly. Let's be honest, it's a shit show. We'll come back to that. I've been pissing and moaning for about 10 minutes, so let's get on to the reason we're here, which is to highlight the show, the battlers. It's not about me, it's about the battlers. So let's have a look. So there's 2 2-on-2s, and I'm afraid I don't know anything about any of them. Raz Ren was a guy who was referenced in the group session the other day by Gas Buff. And Gas Buff spoke very highly of him, so I'm excited to see what he's got going on. Dojo is another one, actually, who I have seen, and I was supposed to have him on for a little bit, and then I threw him a paddy, and I said, listen, dude, I think it's best that you maybe don't come on straight away. And he concurred wisely. So hopefully I'll get a chance. He's another one who I'd like to say hello to, because he's a good kid. And Shawnee B I've heard of, but I've never seen before. But the other 2-on-2, so you've got Tricky and, oh God, Blext. Lunar C back. When will he fight? Lunar C is back on Saturday. I don't believe he has any fights booked. I think he has a battle booked, but I could be wrong. Visual versus villain. Right, this is an interesting one. The big question is, because villain, obviously, his last booking was not. We didn't really have any good things to say about it because it never happened for reasons that I don't really remember. I know he didn't turn up day of and then had some footage come out that wasn't flattering. So, but I had a great deal of respect for Villain in the past. His performing style back in the Don't Flop days was interesting. So we'll see what happens with that. Pedro's versus Nils and Skills. Nils is a weird one because I've heard of him and I've seen him, but I've never seen a full battle of his. I do remember though that he was featured in. So Don't Flop used to do these compilations in the past. So 20 greatest crowd reactions, 20 greatest impersonations. He was in the 20 greatest flips. So battlers will have the opportunity at the beginning of a round, let's say, to kind of rebuttal, freestyle, respond to some of the stuff that the guy has said in his previous round. So some guys are really good at that. Some guys can be a bit cringy at that. His flip was an interesting one because he threw his bird well and truly under the bus, which was funny, I suppose. But that's my only reference with him. And of course, Pedro. Pedro is a fucking fascinating one because he's now a podcaster himself, and he's a portion of one of my favorite battles ever. Him versus Marlowe is one of my favorite battles. It's just full of carnage and just madness. It's great. He pulls out different colored bananas and rebuttals something from a previous battle, I think. And Marlowe has some fantastic schemes against him, just in terms of him being. You put a Facebook status recently that really could do with repeating. Like this, if you're a prolific young offender, Pedro, you're a ridiculous human being. So, let me get. I was shocked when you posted. That's it's not some shit I'm used to seeing. I just couldn't believe you used the word prolific and knew the meaning. Like, just really honed in on Pedro's, streetness, I guess, and used it against him. Lunar was actually in the front row of that one. I didn't know who Lunar was at the time, so to watch him react with all the fandom of any other fan was kind of lovely to see in retrospect. When you now know who Lunar C is, and you see him just sort of sitting there chilling with everybody and laughing along. Like, his biggest reaction was when Marlowe called Pedro's mum a roadman, and he just sort of just keels over laughing. It's actually quite cool, you know what I mean? It's the vibe of the time, I guess. Mark Griss is in the background of that one as well. He's yucking it up, and there's a few other guys in the background as well. It's great. But Pedro, speaking of compilations, Battle Rap Resume has a compilation of Pedro. And it's titled "The Very Worst of Pedro," and it's just him getting in fights and ripping people's t-shirts. So yeah, it's fucking hysterical to me that that's been his legacy. He's also got a mirror match, but he's also the O'Shea battle was another one where that one was a weird one because that one started off really hot and just sort of simmered off as it went. I really feel like a Pedro and some other guys, they'd be better as one rounders or extended rounders. Do you know what I mean? Where they just get a chance to hit the audience. I'll tell you what Pedro's like. He's like one of those one-liner comedians who you could get on for 5 minutes and people would go home and say, I can't wait to see him again, right? But if you had him on for half an hour, 45 minutes, you'd never want to see that fucker again in your life because he just hits you and hits you and hits you and hits you and hits you. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see what he's like in real life. A lot of the battlers I will share with you, again, are fucking huge compared to what they look like on camera at home. Like, you think they're all normal, but then you see Marlowe and he's 8 foot tall. And P, when I met him about a month ago, yeah, man could grab the sun and take a bite out of it if he wanted to. He's fucking huge. So we'll see how big Pedro is before I go up to him and say, you're that guy that tears shirts. Please don't tear mine. Just noticing some questions here. So you think Lunar will kill it? So if I'm being honest, I don't know what to expect. He had a battle last year against Marv 1. I watched that, as I'm sure a lot of people did, because they were excited to see that Lunar C was back battling. But the disappointment then kicked in when they realized it was in America against Marv, and it's not, again, kind of what we're seeing with Madness, not the opponent that they wanted, because I think everyone has still got it in their heads they want to see him battle Shotty, and that's it. And I couldn't disagree more. I think that Shotty Lunar battle is the Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather battle fight. It would have been amazing. It would have been box office, and I think it could still do well now. But it isn't the battle it was. So why do you keep limiting both of them by keep pushing it? There are other people who I think Lunar could battle now that I think would give better matchups and more entertaining moments. It's difficult to say, will he kill it? Because, again, it's been a long time. I think he's still sharp. Like, he still writes. He still performs. He did that hat thing the other week, and when he was talking to me, he was still very passionate about battle rap, and he still got a lot of this understanding of the crowd and the manipulation of it and how he can coerce them into following him and believing in him. So I think he's going to give a great performance, but I just don't know what to expect because it's been 9 years. So you never know. It could be great. It might fall on its ass. You just don't know. I'm rooting for him because I think it would be great to see him absolutely kill it and be there for a classic performance. In the same way I was glad that Shotty and Shuffle killed it because I was there. Same way I was glad Bizzo and Bobby Rex killed it because I was there and I want to see them kill it. But we'll just have to wait and see. Who knows? Let's have a look. Hi, this is Tune In. Pedro's like Lefty in that when he is unprepared but in good form freestyling, he's at his best. Freestyle battling is just a lost art. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. Pedro is, he can be quite clever, I'm not saying it, but Pedro's skill comes in that randomness. His most famous bar, I would argue, is, it's mum joke time, your mum's got a tattoo of the Umbro sign. And that got an insane reaction because just who fucking thinks of that? Who comes up with that? It's ridiculous, but it works. And he'll have a million more of those. And I think when he's pushed and he's in that real fire spitting zone, that's when he's at his best. I think you're right. Lefty, on the other hand, I think I've seen some of his battles, obviously, more of his 2-on-2 work with Big J. And I think he's a great accomplice battler. I don't know how he's going to get on with... so Lefty's battling Pamphlet. Oh, that's a rough one for Lefty. Pamphlet is going to be... Pamphlet, I've not seen full battles, but again, I've seen a million of his highlights. Because, he's got so many of these moments, and he's so flamboyant and braggadocious. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a tough one for him. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. Those two I'm going to look forward to. Because again, Lefty is very slick and he can be very, very, very funny and very clever. But Pamphlet is just so over the top and verbose. It could go either way. Just coming back to the comments here. So Shuffle T killed Shotty. I'd rather watch Lunar versus Shuffle. Funnier battle in my opinion. So that's an interesting one. So I think, oh God, who was I talking to about this? It might have been Cammy. I can't remember. I don't want to say because it might not have been Cammy. But yeah, I had a similar conversation where I said, listen, I've got to be honest. When I was in the room that day, I don't think there was much doubt Shuffle won that battle. Shuffle won that battle in terms of the reactions. But then when you watch the battle back and you look at how Shotty composed and presented his stuff, it's hard to disagree that he did... It was very, very close. Anyone that says there's a definite clear winner out of those two, I think is, again, kind of exhibiting a disposition towards more of that theatricality of battle rap, or the comedy of battle rap, or the reactions of battle rap. I think it's one of those things where you just need to have that balance in a battle rap situation. You have to remember, Shotty was on his game that day. Like, one of the things that, and again, they're not going to like me for saying this, they have edited out his stumble. He had a bit... People won't know this unless they were in the room. There was something... And you can even spot it in the edit if you're careful. Shotty had a moment where he didn't choke, and I wouldn't call it... You know, he didn't need, like, tons of time. But there was a moment where he was like, oh, wait. And I'm sorry, but when that happens, a lot of guys mark that. They're like, well, that's the other guy's round then. You know what I mean? Tony did it the other day against Thesaurus on that post. He took 30, 40 seconds, recovered, so it's not a choke, but you got to mark a guy down for that, apparently. That's apparently something that battle rap has to do. I don't know if I agree with that personally. I think if a battler wants to have a couple of cue cards handy, if they need it, to make sure that the performance keeps to flowing, I don't mind that necessarily. I don't know where it became an unwritten rule you have to memorize 9 minutes of material. Like, I could barely memorize a 30-second introduction for my guests. I'm going to make my friends sit there for 3 months memorizing 9 minutes that might need to be changed the day of if something happens. Come on, man. Which is why I'm not hating on Shotty for it. I'm not hating on anyone for it. I think if you forget everything, that's different. But if a guy, you know, takes a few moments to kind of like, right, wait, hang on, I'm a bit out of sorts, something's just shot me. Okay, right, I'm with it, fine. But that day, I don't think Shotty won the crowd, no. But you watch it back, I think you could make the argument of a draw or a shotty win if you are more predisposed to that, you know, more hard bar-esque presentation. But that's a subjective thing. I actually was thinking about this the other day, and I'm sorry to kind of go off track. I posted something about this the other day, and I only got 3 votes on it, so I didn't post the results. I'll grab it, actually, because I thought it was an interesting question to pose, but again, no one cares what I think. So there it is. You probably can't see it, actually. But anyways, quick question because I'm curious. What is the most important aspect of a performance when judging a battle if you had to choose just one? I know there's others like themes, schemes, and concepts that relate to comedy or reactions. If so, put them as a comment. I gave 4 options. I gave flawless performances, crowd work, originality, personality. Now, 3 votes. So you can't take anything from it, I grant you. But no one voted for flawless performance. No one thought a flawless performance is what you judge a battle on ultimately. It's personality. It's how well you win over the crowd. So even in that context, I would argue that Shotty won the day, that Shuffle won the day. But the thing with that is you got to be careful because I think that's when you do lose a little bit of the art of battle rap. I think what made Tony D and Bizzo so special is that they both came at it with some very, very unique angles. And Tony is a master of picking a theme for the round and weaving it in sort of indiscriminately in his bars. Bizzo is very good at that too. And that's what made that battle great for me. And I think the crowd just bought into the whole kind of up and down of it. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's all important. You know what I mean? I don't think it's fair to sort of write off Shotty because he didn't have a phone on him and a whole round comprised of a call to HR, which was granted was really fucking funny and really clever. But is that better than some of the rhyme schemes that Shotty came up with? The wording and some of the nuance and the double entendre, the double meaning, the performing style of it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. But that's why battle rap is kind of fun, because it is subjective ultimately. I can feel one way and you can feel another, so long as we're both looking at the same battle. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. But as far as, to come back to the statement, so I just want to get to Nephilim Slayer. I don't know if Shuffle killed Shotty. I think he got a better reaction on the day. But I will agree that Lunar versus Shuffle would be fucking... Can you... And I love Lunar to death now. Can you imagine what Shuffle T would do with Lunar C? Could you even begin to imagine? Or let me throw something out there for a second. Let me just have some fun. Let's fantasy book this shit for a second. Imagine if Lunar C, right, has this battle this weekend, right? He likes it, but you know what? There's no one that really excites him on a one-on-one situation. What if he got a partner, teamed up, took on Shufflo? Imagine the fun we'd have with that. Imagine with the fun we'd have with a prime Shufflo versus a geared up, dialed in Lunar C and a partner. Don't know who it could be. Could be a couple of people, I think, that would be a good choice. But I think that would be fun. I think a 2-on-2 with Shufflo versus a Lunar C and a mystery opponent. That would be fun. I'd sooner see that than the Shotty battle. Because I think the Shotty battle... I don't know if I quite agree with Cammy. Cammy said that if that battle ever happens, the person that loses his career is over. And I don't know if I agree with that. I also think it would be wrong to phrase it that way. You have to forgive me. I'm wearing my glasses, right? So glasses wearers will know this. And I don't want to wear my hat backwards like this because otherwise I'm pulling a Shotty and people will think I'm plagiarizing. Fuck it. Just lose the fucking hat. And sorry, I cut my hair the other day and I lost. I had a fight with the trimmers and significantly lost. So, yeah, it looks dumb. Deal with it. Where the fuck was I? I just think that the Shotty battle is one of those ones now where I think you just need to leave it. Let it be the what if battle. Let it be that, oh man, if that had happened, because you can just let the fans imagine. You can just let the fans have their moment. Let them enjoy it. Why spoil it at this point? because it could never live up to expectations. It will never ever be what you want it to be. It won't have been worth a 10-year wait. It can't be. Stuff like that never is. Name me one thing that you wanted 15 years ago that you got and it was as good as you thought it was going to be 15 years ago. Answers in the comment section, please. I'm begging you. Tell me what it is. But that's a good suggestion. So Peace Soldier and Luna versus Shuffler would be great. If no other reason than Peace faced them before with Matter. That was a closer battle than people remember. I think Matter and Peace Soldier gave a great performance there. And Luna, I think, would be up for that. So, listen, man. Cards on the table. If you want me to book Luna's next match, it's not a singles match. It's him with a partner against Shuffler. I would be on that card like that, son. I would be on that card like that. So, as far as Lunar C and whatever happens with Madness, I know nothing about Madness. I should probably preface that. So, the idea of me saying I'm going to kill it, I don't know because I don't know enough about Madness, frankly. I think the fact that their names... Lunacy and Madness. Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you see what they... Do you get what they did? Aren't they clever boys? I'm sorry to be the person, but like Lunacy versus Madness, right? And they've not built the marketing over the fact, you know, craziness, sort of Cheshire Cat smiles and swirls, crazy sort of... Like, come on, man. Like... they've gone with this weird techno thing, right? Where it's all like dialed in and all the rest of it. And they've also, I'll tell you, oh, sorry, I'm moaning again. But still, this card, right? The way that they've presented it, right? I get that all of the battlers have their own claims to fame, right? I'm not saying it. But your headline match is Lunacy versus Madness. Why the fuck am I having to scroll to find it? Put it front and center. That is the reason you want me to buy this card. You made a separate poster saying Daddy's back. Or Daddy's... I forget what it said. And then you hide it in the top right-hand corner of it? Come on, man. Like, I get you've got to put the space for the other battlers. I get it. And look, and Gas Buff said this. I'll agree with him. This event is going to go from 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 10 o'clock at night. 9 hours of battle rap. Get it down, you wacky bastards. Like, 9 hours? I can't afford bar drinks for 9 hours. Fuck you doing, Don't Flop? Book it for 2 o'clock. Get us out of there by 7 or 8. Some of us have got kids to look after, for fuck's sake. Like, 10 hours nearly when you think about it. Jesus wept. And that's not including the fact, by the way, that one of the battles I don't think has been rebooked. So Kinel versus Moke I know isn't happening because Moke had to fall out. I know that they were pinging Kinel to say, well, what do you want to do? Someone suggested Sean Cray on short notice just do kind of like a freestyle thing, and then Kinel shot that shit down pretty quick. So I don't know what they're doing with him. So I grant you that there's one less battle on the card. But that still means we've got to get through 9 battles. 9 battles in 9 hours. I mean, dude. I understand that there's musical stuff going on as well. And there'll be some other stuff. But 9 hours. Do I get a lunch break? Do I get 2 fag breaks in between by chance? Don't even smoke, but I might need them. Jesus wept. 9 hours. Fucking hell. But it's good value for money. Waterboarding's free. What's your point? Fucking 9 hours. Jesus Christ. And I won't know anyone there. That's the worst part. Won't know anyone. I know some of these battlers because I've interviewed them, but I don't know how I feel about glomping onto them for 9 hours. 9 fucking hours. Anyways. We haven't talked about some of the battles on here. So, Gasbuff versus Crow is the sleeper hit for me. That's the one I'm most excited about seeing for personal reasons, because I really liked Crow at match day 5. I thought he did a really good job, given the circumstances. I thought he won his battle. And Gasbuff is just He's the James Brown of battle rap. That motherfucker is working his goddamn socks off and never taking a break. He is fucking absolutely slaying himself to try and get over. Zen versus... by the way, I think, if I had to guess, I think Crow's probably going to take it, but I think Gasprov's going to be absolutely brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Zen versus Marv, I believe, is an on-beat title match. Never seen a live on-beat battle before, so I'm not too sure what to expect. I've obviously seen in prep for Bobby, he's a massive fan of on-beat battles, so I've seen them. I don't know what to make of them, if I'm being brutally honest. Mainly because I couldn't understand a fucking word of what was being said. Bear with me. Sorry. It's my jar of Make Daddy Big Go Juice. Anyways. Yeah, I couldn't understand the fucking word that we're saying. Because they're on a beat, and the volume has not been tempered, and because the mic sounds... It's like, dude, I can't understand a word you're saying. I get you're doing it to a beat, and I'm sure there's a lot of skill in that. Can't understand a fucking word you're saying. And Zen goes very quickly, so I imagine it's going to sound like a bee has gotten trapped in a washing machine with an amplifier bolted to the side of it. So I don't know what to make of it. I'm excited to see Zen because I've seen his battle, a couple of his battles, and I've seen a couple of good rebuttals. He's obviously a skilled guy. Marv 1 is the guy who battled Lunar last year, and I've seen him on a couple of 2-on-2s, and he's an interesting character, an interesting cat. So that'll be an interesting battle, I suppose. But look, I will level with you. Enigma versus Bonnie Godiva. I know Enigma can say some pretty heinous shit, and Bonnie Godiva promised some offensive content when she cut her promo for the Checkpoint 5 trailer. So, okay, like, interesting that we've now come full circle and we're promising offensive content. But yeah, that sounds like a good marketing ploy. I'm going to offend you. I'm going to make you want to leave, buy a ticket. Like, yep, okay. Anyways, and then you got Lunar C. So, and it's Lunar C. Come on, man. He's only battled 7 or 8 times, I think in total. Maybe 9, I forget. His battle catalog is not extensive. I bet if you pulled it up now, there's Verse Tracker. If you pulled up Verse Tracker, I bet it would be like, wow, he really hasn't done many battles. Nope, and that's why he, in my mind, was important to talk to. He has left a legacy in battle rap that no one, I think, can match. Not even Shotty. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. But that's that. So that's Checkpoint 5. I know no one in this conversation is going so far, I believe. Is anyone else going but me? I don't know. I just know that I know David isn't going. I know Ryan isn't going. And I know Christopher Columbus isn't going. And they're the only 3 guys I've met at an event through this. So, yeah. I'm going to be scared in a room with old people that I don't know. Yeah. I don't socialize, people. This is the closest thing I ever do to coming to socializing. And the beautiful thing with this, press that little off button there and I'm back in my room by myself. Love that shit. But I'm going to drive 3 hours across the country, go in a room. It's usually too hot with a bunch of people that are there to see people be mean to each other for 3 hours. Except it's 9. Ugh, God, help me. Once the battles start, I'll be fine because we're all watching the battles. But it's the bit between the battles that kills me because I just don't know what you do. What do you humans do to socialize usually when you don't drink? Because that's the thing, I'm driving, so I can't drink. That's not good enough. You'll start going next. It's 2024 now. We're halfway through the year now. Not really his next year bollocks. Get your fucking ass together. Come now. I need someone to talk to, okay? I can't just be on my phone for 9 hours. My phone won't make it that long, and I need the sat-nav to get home. Or not. It's fine. 9 hours, though. Fucking hell. Can someone explain to me why it's 9 hours? Does anyone in the conversation, if they can go on Twitter right now for me and just do me a solid, ask someone, why 9 hours? Did you get a discount on the fucking venue for 9 hours? 9 hours. Anyways, right, let me just go through some of the content comments. So, yeah, that's cool. Some of beat battles can end up sounding iffy on YouTube, but in my experience, they're always crystal clear in the room. Okay. It was in the perfume. Okay, all right, fair enough, Sean. We'll see what happens. Like I've never seen one before, so it'd be interesting to see. That's all I'll say about that. So that's cool. I suppose we've gone for about half an hour on checkpoint 5. So let's come back to what we were talking about earlier, shall we? The discourse. And again, I'm curious, since I have a captive audience here of a few of you. What am I? You tell me. Am I a media member in your eyes? And if so, what is that? The names that keep floating around at me, and I'm going to try, again, I'm going to try and not be dismissive, okay? I'm genuinely trying to look at it as objectively as I possibly can in terms of what they actually are, okay? The names that keep being thrown at, Bobby tweeted, like, go follow these media people, and again, I appreciated it, but I don't necessarily agree. London Jen, Trubs for the wiretap, or I suppose it's now the Plug TV. Cammy, me. There was another name in there as well. Obviously, Don't Flop have their own podcast. Premier Battles have their own podcast too, I believe. The Battlers have their own podcast, or at least a few of them do. I don't know if any of them are media, necessarily. London Jen, as best I can tell, has done the occasional preview interview. She's also hosted face-to-face conversations. Sean's got it, by the way. Sean says, and I quote, "You're not a media member, you're a big wally." He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I am not a media member, ladies and gentlemen. And look, here's the thing. I appreciate the place it comes from. I really do. It's a term of endearment and a term of respect. It's saying, listen, what you have done has had some sway, some influence, some P's here. Thank you, P. I know I can't hold a candle to you Star-wise. In fact, you've missed the first part of this where I had a hat on. Look, I had a hat. And I took it off because I couldn't find a way where it looked nice. Jen's gonna start a league. I mean, look, guys, if that doesn't prove my point, I don't know what does. If Jen's starting a new league, if Trubs works predominantly for Premier Battles as a booker and an event manager, and still to a degree a performer, Cammy is a fan, and so am I. Premier Battles has a podcast, but it's a Premier Battles podcast. And Don't Flop have a podcast, and it's a Don't Flop podcast. Do any of them qualify as media? Do any of them qualify as a place that you, the fan, and this is what I'm trying to drill into when I posted earlier to social media, is like, I want to hear from the fans, man. I'm kind of sick of hearing from the battlers and the promotions when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I want to hear from the fans, man. I don't know if the fans have anywhere to go for a place where they just talk about battle rap without worrying about saying something that particular promotion doesn't want to hear. And look, I'm trying to be as objective as I can. Lunar was talking about this all week, how he thought he'd pissed off London Jen, okay, and Trubs, because neither one of them had invited him on. They then start going backwards and forwards on Twitter, and London Jen starts gobbing off about how has said something like, oh, well, the media don't help anyway, or whatever, right? Lunar C is offering you an interview for a card that's about this weekend. Do you not think the fans want to hear from him? If you think no, why do you think Don't Flop are booking him as the main event? Why do you think I wanted to talk to him? Like, it just doesn't... the media isn't supposed to be overtly biased while not telling you they're not being biased. And this is why when they throw up things like, oh no, we've covered Don't Flop. No, you don't. You cover things of Don't Flop. You cover people within Don't Flop. And that's different. That's not the same. And so, I don't know if a battle rap media member exists. I don't think it's a real thing. And Shannon was saying, like, you're thinking about this too deeply. I'm like, again, I respectfully disagree. I think there's a difference between you thinking at a certain level and me thinking at a different level. I want to have somewhere where I can go that I can an opinion I can trust. You know what I mean? Like, hang on. P, you're in the chat. Why are you messaging me in the middle of a stream? You can't pull your friend card like this. This is what happens, folks. You know, I become the Billy Big Dick of the league, you know, the battle rap bad boy, and then suddenly I'm getting pinged. I bet that's P right now saying, listen, okay? I'm the big dog around here. Don't you go on your little show. Don't anyone tell P I said that. P will pick me up by the head with one arm and plant me like a fucking carrot. So yeah, please no one tell him I said that. What did John say again? I'm a big Wally. Yeah, he's not wrong. Anyways, I was ranting. London Jen, I would argue, is not a media member. She has a platform and she covers battle rap, but she covers it from a certain perspective. I don't know if that's what a media member is. Maybe you disagree. In the same way, I'm not going to, P, if you're still watching. I've just had... So I got sent a voice message from P Soldier right here with the accompanying note, do not play that on live. I have some journalistic integrity, so sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to just speculate as to what P Soldier has sent me, but I look forward to hearing that, whatever it is. Anyways, back to my point. And this isn't me being disparaging of London Jen and Trubs. I've got my own problems with them on a personal level because I just don't like how they fucking talked to me back in the day. I think it was fucking bang out of order. And I think the fact that I never went after them personally, and yet they took no time to go onto social media and start bashing me personally for no fucking reason that they disagreed with my fucking opinion. Again, is that a media member? I don't think so. I think a media member is supposed to generally stay on the fucking subject and keep themselves out of it. That's how you don't want journalists opining on the things that they're covering necessarily. Sometimes you need it, that's true. But as a fan, don't you want somewhere where you can just go and say, right, what's going on? Who's doing what? Why is it happening? Can you give me any inside scoops? Can you give me any information about this that enriches and betters my experience as a fan? It makes me feel proud to be a fan. Makes me feel happy to be a fan. Is that popular? Is that not pertinent? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I just know that I don't consider myself a media member primarily because, and P, thank you for sending me that example, by the way. That's hilarious. Me and P Soldier talk all the time. You fuckers are never going to hear about it. That's between me and P because we're mates. Me and Quill have had a conversation. I've given you the highlights, but the details of that conversation stay between me and him from now on. That's that. Same with Biz. Same with a few of the other guys. Now, if I had journalistic aspirations, maybe I would be tapping them for information. Like, hey man, can you give me the inside scoop on any battles coming up? Can you tell me anything about this card? I heard so-and-so and so-and-so aren't talking. Can you give me that information? I gotta be honest with you, I couldn't give the tiniest fuck. I love the battles. I love seeing the guys get in a room and do their thing. That's what I love about battle rap. I do not love going on social media and saying, no one's buying tickets and no one's covering my event and it's everyone else's fault but mine. I fucking hate that shit. I fucking hate London Jen going after Lunar C for the audacity of saying, hey, you haven't had me on my show. I'd like to be on your show. I think that's fucking bullshit. But what are you going to do? That's the state of battle rap discourse at the moment, is that we've got people that do not have battle rap at the forefront of their minds when they are approaching some of this shit. And I'm not meant to, because again, with all due respect, I'm not a media member. I'm a fan who happens to cover some of the guys in it. And I've made friends with some of the guys that are in it. And I'll share with you, the primary reason I'm going to Checkpoint is because now of Lunar C. I promised him I'd go. I said, do you know what, man? You gave a great interview, did a great favour for me, and I'd love to see you live before you retire. I'm buying a ticket. I'm going. And I can't wait to go, and I can't wait to be there. But this week in the discourse they're in, and the backwards and forwards, and the accusatory bollocks of everybody else, instead of just fucking, if you don't want to cover it, that's fine. but then stay out of it. Do you know what I mean? Just, it's so tiring. It's been, and it's genuinely depressing to a certain degree, because then it means that when I want to take what I do and show it to someone who doesn't care about battle rap, one of the interviews I've done or some of the clips that I've taken, you as fans probably want to see more people in, because then you get to share your fandom with more people. It's more eyes on it. It's more opinions. It's differing opinions. That's generally a good thing. And the best thing is, more fans means more money for the battlers, man. More opportunities for the guys that are working their fucking nuts off effectively for nothing right now. I don't know how much money Gas got paid to do that promo, but he's on the fucking card as well. I don't know how much money some of the guys get paid to do anything, to be honest with you, because I don't know how much money they can really be making in this current climate. They're not making money off YouTube. YouTube demonetizes anything battle rap related when you put it explicitly. I obviously don't make... I can't pay anybody to be on this channel because this channel doesn't make any money. That's partly my fault, because... Granted... But mainly it's because long-form content isn't monetizable. And you definitely can't monetize it when you say, your mum's a slag. YouTube ain't tolerating that shit. Which means you need more fans through the door. You need more guys turning up on the day, filling the room, buying the merch, doing the bars. So that they can put on bigger events and encourage more people in. And this discourse, man, it's killing it. Because it makes a casual person look at it and roll their eyes and go, why is the owner of that league slagging off everybody? Why is that person supposed to be immediate? Why are they having a full-blown argument on Twitter with someone? I don't think I want anything near that. And again, I'm sorry to make it a competition, but then you look at Premier Battles today. And Premier Battles do it so much better. They do it so much, but not that they don't have their own problems, by the way. Again, I have an issue with the fact that there's kind of a repetition at the moment where they don't lean into the controversy or the conflict enough, in my mind, where I buy into the conflict of a battle enough. The Bobby versus Bizzo one was the last one I did, and even that one had on the edges of it, because you know that Biz is just too nice a guy to hate anybody at this point. I don't buy that Bizzo has a bad bone in his body. Like, he's just such a nice man. And Bobby's actually quite a sound fellow too. So, you miss the days when you saw two guys step on stage and kind of relish the opportunity to say all of the meanest, nastiest things they can possibly dream up in a month. And make it rhyme and entertaining. You know what I mean? So like I said, there's problems on both sides, but the difference, I would argue, is that Premier Battles is working quite hard to present itself as a business, as a promotion that people can trust, that is consistent, that is always striving to put the fans first. I think that's shown in their promo material. It's even shown, hang on, let me pull this, because I think this was kind of interesting from my perspective. The Don't Flop response was, thank you for supporting us, I think, on the email for whatever it is. I'll try and find it now. Talk amongst yourselves. Here it is, right. Thank you for supporting us and ordering tickets to Checkpoint 5. There's that. I literally bought the Skittle tickets, and it's Skittle. Have a great time at the event. I know it's subtle, but it's there, and it's noticeable that one business looks at people like it's us, like you're here for us, enjoy us, and the other one's like, no, we hope you have a good time, we hope you have fun. I'll also speak to the fact that, so Bloodstro, right? If you go to an event for Premier Battles and Bloodstro's there, I'll be staggered if he doesn't greet you personally to shake your hand and ask you how you're doing. Like, how you doing? You having fun? You having a good time? Got everything okay? Cool. Right, okay, cool. Good, seeing around. That man works so goddamn hard when he's in the room to make sure everyone's having a great time. And I don't know what to expect, because, again, I haven't been to a Don't Flop event, but I don't know. All I know is that both times I went to Premier Battles events, you made to feel like you are a valued customer. Like, we are so glad that you're here. Please come in, settle yourself in, look forward to the event, have a great time. The battlers circled the room, shook hands, had conversations. It was great. And then you couple that with the promotion element of the fact that they share and they really do put the effort in to make sure you know about the things that they've got coming up, and they try and give you as many good reasons to care as they possibly can. It is night and day right now. And that's just on top of the fact that the discourse is so fucking hard sometimes. And again, I really did try and put my personal feelings aside with her this week. I really did, because I thought, you know what, maybe you guys maybe want to say. I've had some people say it since, like, are you going to talk to her? And it's hard, man. It's really hard. I'd try and put my differences aside with almost anybody these days. If I could have a conversation with London Jen or Trubs that started with, so, can I ask you a question? Why did you go after me personally for an opinion that I had? Are you willing to apologise for that? Now that I've apologised to Quill for being out of order, and I've apologised to Briggsy for being out of order, I've personally contacted all of the guys who've had on my show to say, listen, I'm sorry if that embarrassed you. Now that I've honoured my responsibilities and obligations in terms of the discourse, you can apologise to me. If I could have any faith that that would happen, I'd be open to having a conversation with them. I have zero faith that would happen, which is why I'm not even going to bother entertaining the idea. But the fact is that that discourse makes me, as a fan, disenfranchised and disenchanted with the thing I love most, which is just seeing two guys battle, man. I think it's great when it happens in a room and you can just sit and enjoy it with a cold beverage and it's not too hot. Man, battle rap is pretty hard to beat as a live experience. And again, I really do hope that people do buy a ticket in the next day or two so I can see you there and we can all have fun. I really do. But man, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyways, let me read through some of this, because IKR. Oh, I know, right? All media guys became bookers. So Hylas has written here. I know, right? All media guys become bookers, so guess that's you next year. Yeah, me running a professional. So here's the thing: in order to run an event, I'd have to have people who work for me. Yeah, I don't work well with other people. I collaborate with a few people that I really trust. I collaborate with P Soldier because I trust P Soldier to turn up when he says he's going to and put in a shift. Dub T I've collaborated with because I trust him to turn up and put up a fucking shift. The interviews are fine because you only need them to do them once. But I will tell you, without naming names, there are plenty of my guests who I would not trust to show up a second time. Because reasons. But collaborating for putting on an event, yeah, we'll just rule that out because just collaborating in general is not something I do very well. I'm great for a first impression. I don't make great second impressions. So that's that. I think you can be pretty sure that the Halcyon Battle League isn't going to be something that's going to be happening anytime soon. Why is she starting a league, by the way? I thought she still had pretty close affiliations to No Loose Chat and Prem. So I would have thought she would have, I don't know, maybe assumed a role with one of those ones. Because that's the crazy thing. Despite the fact that I have some problems with the way that she covers the fucking scene, I actually don't have a problem with her having a role within either company. I think she'd be really good given her background with the scene and how much clearly she has a passion for battle rap and she's close to a lot of the guys. And she has a good rapport with a lot of them. I think she'd be a good addition to Prem or No Loose Chat. But if she's starting her own league, I would hope it would have something to add to the scene rather than just, well, I've got a league, so look at me. You know what I mean? Like, I would hope that it has some kind of something that makes it differential to what Prem and No Loose Chat and Don't Flop. And to a degree, I know Membars Only is trying as well. There's a few other leagues that I don't know about that I know are also trying. So, Peace Soldier, throwing it in there. Me and Luna would beat Shuffle and Marlowe. Well, P, there's only one way to find out, man. There's only one way to find out. You gotta get on the phone with old Luna, and you gotta see what he's thinking. What he's like. Could he see it happening? Like, come on, man. You gotta work with me here. Can you believe that? Did we just break something here? I just spent half an hour saying how I'm not a media member. Did I just break that Peace Soldier and Lunar C are going to be battling? I'm not going to finish that sentence so you can clip it up and say that I said it because I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You did. It's in the comment section of my video. Quote, me and Luna would beat Shuffle and Marlowe, says Peace Soldier. I'd be down for that. Peace Soldier and Lunar C versus Shufflo. Okay. okay. All right. Let's see how it goes with that one. And Sean agrees. I'd vote for that battle. There you go. Yeah, suggest this, but a rematch where Matter is replaced by Lunar, and that's it. Okay. Do you know what needs to happen for that one? I don't know if you saw Matter and Peace Soldier versus Big J and Lefty, but at the beginning of the battle, they made reference because so Lunar was stood right behind Matter and Peace Soldier, and Matter started off with the it's Matter. It's Matter and Lunar P, the long-awaited return, and then Lunar C comes from behind both of them. Me and Matter take it in turns, leaving your mum's face flashed up and and P pushes. Nah. They need to flip that. They need to have Matter behind both P Soldier and Lunar, and Matter needs to come out from the middle spitting, and then Lunar needs to push him back or something like that. Nice little callback. That would be fucking fire. Book it. I don't care who watches this. If you don't like me and you've hated all the stuff I've said, fuck it. I don't care. Book that. Book that. Offer P Soldier whatever the fuck he wants. Give Lunar whatever the fuck he wants. Give Shuffle T, I don't know, buy his book, a couple of them, and bankroll Marlowe's next movie. Get that fucking thing booked. I need to see that immediately. Yeah. Let's do that. Where are we up to? I've been yammering for an hour and 14 minutes. God. Sorry. Right. Is there anything else to talk about? I don't know. I think we covered everything that I wanted to talk about, to be honest. The discourse, obviously, is something that will roll on. Nothing I've said on this stream is going to change a fucking thing. If anything, you know, people are going to see this and go, oh, he's talking shit again. It's like, dudes, I'm done trying to be sort of civil with some of this stuff. Some of it, I'm just going to call it how it is. You know, fucking, what was it today? I think Trubs took another shot back at today. And it's this thing of, right, two wrongs don't make a right, guys. If you're gonna say fucked up for doing it, you can't do it back. Mute him. Fucking block him if you have to. I miss a lot of this stuff these days because I have quite a lot of them muted on Twitter. I don't see it. I have to unmute people to see a lot of this crap. So just fucking, you're a promoter. Mute the other guy. It worked for me. I had to unmute people to fucking follow some of this stuff. And even then it was just like, oh, I could just remute it. So that's probably a good way to sum up this, okay? Because we've got some stuff that we've covered. Peace Soldier, Lunar C versus Marlowe and Shuffle. Could it happen? Will it happen? Make it happen right now. I need to see that. Because then it ticks off I've seen Shuffle live, and it means I've seen P live and Lunar again. That would be great. Checkpoint 5 is this weekend. Despite how unenthusiastic I may have seen, I'm actually really excited to see, because again, it's like the Plug 3. There were a bunch of guys on that card I'd never seen before and I didn't really follow. Afterwards, man, there were like 4 or 5. I'm like, man, I think I need to talk to him. I think I need to get him on the show, or I'm going to follow his next battle. So I'm looking forward to that. Apex 5, there's still a long time between now and then, so we'll have to put a pin on how excited I get, because things could fall through. They changed the venue today or yesterday, I forget. I don't know why, but I'm going to have to look at how that affects my travel plans. So anything could happen between now and then. Anyone could fall out, or things change, or whatever. Someone, says something wrong. You never know. But I'll be looking forward to previewing that a little bit closer to the time. And as far as the discourse, man, here's how we'll sign off with that. Like who you like, but just don't be a dick. This goes for everybody. And look, if or any of the Premier Battle guys see this, as fans, I don't mind the animosity when it's in good fun, because it's like you guys are working together, you're trying to build something. I get it. I was really hoping for that with the Gemini and Bizzo Bond match. Like, this could be the Don't Flop Prem event that I think a lot of fans would like to see, if only because I think it'd be lovely for people to just see that everyone can work together and not be cheap and take shots at each other. And instead, this is what we get this week, where everyone's sniping at each other for no good reason. And you got poor Lunar shitting a kitten trying to promote the event and try and keep things on an even keel. Lunar C of all people. And that motherfucker probably was desperate to let loose, and I thought he handled it pretty fucking well, all things considered. And then you got Bobby coming in telling everyone to shut the fuck up and get on with it. I love Bobby for that, man. Again, probably gonna end up on the wrong end of Bobby one day. I'm gonna have to fight him in a car park like he's always said, but It's fine. I run, so I'll be able to get... Oh, no, he does half marathons now, doesn't he? Oh. Well, I guess I'm done. I suppose I'll be dead. But until then, yeah, let's just try and fucking get along, man. We're all fans of battle rap at the end of the day, aren't we? Let's just look forward to the battles, support the battlers, hope that they turn up and kill it, reward them commensurately for their efforts. Hopefully they're more successful in the next event. They can grow, become more affiliated with the scene. New crop. Suddenly you've got a new wave of fans in. Hooray! Or we can spend each other's time calling each other twats on Twitter. I don't know. You tell me. I feel great as a result of this podcast, if no other reason than Peace Soldier said he likes my jacket. So, that's good. I feel pretty good about that. I think we'll wrap it there. I don't think there's anything else to chat about, because I think everyone's had their comments, so that's lovely. I appreciate everyone for joining me. I'm just going to run through and do what I do, which is shout out everyone that was kind enough to join us. So we got Hylas. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. And just to touch on at the beginning of the show, dude, I'm sorry you're still going through it, man. That fucking sucks. You do have my DMs. If there's anything I can do, if there's anything, again, same with a lot of people in this chat, I imagine. You've got us in the DMs, man. Hit us up if you need anything, brother. I'm sorry to hear you're still going through it, but, man, just keep pushing and keep going. Fuck, man. You got to do it. You got to do it, okay? I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. You got to do this. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to pronounce this, so I apologize. So, Nephilim Slayer. Nephilim Slayer? Is that the one? Thank you for joining us. Aaron, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. Sean, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. And Mr. Peace Soldier was in this chat. How about that? Mr. Peace Soldier was here. Lovely stuff. Yeah, well, my negativity is usually stemmed... This is the thing, right? I'll sign off on this, right? I hate being pissed off. The thing the other day with Shannon, I went into that just trying to be a cheerleader, man. Just trying to be positive and happy and upbeat. And the thing I took away from that was, man, people hate me when I'm positive. They really don't like it when it's like, oh, this guy's a nerd. This guy's a geek. Bleh. Like, oh, you think about things too much. And then I come on like this, and I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to tell you what I fucking think. People seem to like it, and I don't know if I like that. I think I'd rather be a goof and a bit silly and a bit of a Wally, as Sean said. But if I just got to sit here and tell you how it is in my eyes, and if it resonates with you, great. At least I think I've done some good. That's something, I suppose. I just wish I wasn't saying... I wish I didn't feel like I had to say it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there should be better placed people to speak up and say, just, that's fucking bullshit. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Pack it the fuck in. Shouldn't be me. I think I'm the least qualified person to opine on battle rap. The least qualified. And yet here I am telling a league owner to buck his fucking ideas up, even though he's infinitely more experienced as being a league owner in me. I am very positive otherwise. Again, battle rap has just sort of taken it out of me this week, man. I'm kind of looking... Lunar tweeted earlier. He's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I love you all, but I can't stand I can't stand a single fucking one of you. And I get what he means, man. Battle rap can be the best thing, and yet it can be the fucking most frustrating head banging against the wall thing in the world, man. And I wish it was less of that more of the time. And it could be. All it would take is that just a few people, I don't even think it's many people, I think it's 3 or 4 people to swallow their fucking egos and just remember that the fans are the ones who matter in this equation. You watching this, the fans, you are the ones that matter. You are the ones that buy the tickets. You are the ones that attend the events. You are the ones that buy the merch. You're the ones that watch the shows. You matter the most. If they geared their shit towards that sentiment, I think battle rap would be hot again tomorrow, son. Until then, and until we're done measuring dicks, beats me. Again, streams like this probably still piss people off because, like, how dare he go on there and speak his opinion? It's my fucking opinion. That's why I'm entitled to it as a fan. Paid my ticket. Anyway, my name's been Lorne Risley, host of the Halcyon Show. I do appreciate your company this evening. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, God. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. As I'm sure you've seen, I had an interview with Lunar C recently. If you haven't seen it, be a dear. Go click on it and watch it for 5 minutes. Boost my analytics just a little bit. I also posted the segment, so if you can't be asked to sit through the whole hour, you can watch maybe a 10-minute segment that speaks to you. Had Cammy on recently. We were supposed to have Bobby on. We're trying to make that work. It'd probably be more like next week. Maybe. We'll see. I'll let you guys know as soon as we've got a date nailed on for that. I haven't got anyone lined up after that, I'm afraid. So I'll have to let you know as and when I line up the next guest. We'll see what happens at this event. Maybe we're able to do a little bit of networking and see what happens. Or maybe will message me back. Maybe this is the podcast he needed to see. Maybe this is what's going to make him wake up. Who knows? I for one am hopeful. What smells of heroin? Anyways, thank you very much for joining me. I sincerely hope that you are taking good care of yourself and staying cool. I'm going to take this jacket off now because I underestimated how hot it was going to be in here while I was drinking milk. I'm going to go get a drink or pass out depending on how quickly I can make it to my refrigerator. But in the meantime, again, I hope you're taking care of yourselves, man. I hope I see you at Checkpoint, and I hope I see you at Apex. Get your tickets. Be sure to go online right now and buy them. Buy all of them. Buy all of them. Buy some merch while you're there. You know, make it worth your while. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Don't know when another live stream will be. Don't know when I'll have something to talk about, but there'll be something soon because I'm always working on something. But listen, thank you very much, all of you, for joining me. And be sure to stay tuned for the next episode of, let's make this nice and smooth, The Halcyon Show.